to another episode of What's the Deal podcast. I'm your host, Vanessa Hill. Today, I will be joined by four lovely young ladies who will be discussing the rise of STEM education with me. These ladies are Miss Tamaya Palmer, Miss Kitanya Knight, Miss Tashia Harris, and Miss Lasharna Tuttle. Let's dive in.
What is STEM? It's not just subjects, it's the way we think and do things, which solves some of the world's greatest challenges. STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. It's not about being an expert in all four areas, but to have all the essential skills behind them. Scientists knows how to hypothesize, experiment, analyze, and evaluate what they do. Technology can make our lives better.
Effective and more fun. Engineers don't just wear hard hats. They are problem solvers that work on some of the world's biggest challenges, like creating bionic limbs for people with disabilities or exploring outer space. Mathematics teaches us how to quantify data and how physics rules the world around us. With mathematics, we can implement change and minimize error. You won't have to master all of these skills either. Teamwork is an essential STEM skill. Take the search for new energy sources, for example. Geologists and geophysicists search for gas deposits. Engineers help you design and run platforms and processing plants. Construction teams work to build essential infrastructure under the supervision of project managers, and environmental scientists work with everyone every step of the way. Playing to your strengths and working in a team will have you creating a greater impact than if you were working alone. It would cost the Australian economy $9.3 billion in lost productivity, profitability, and employee satisfaction. STEM skills are useful to almost every career. 75% of today's fastest growing careers require STEM skills, and 82% of today's employees say they value STEM skills even if they're not required for the job. STEM skills can even unlock your potential to earn a higher salary or become more employable. You don't have to earn a university degree in STEM to be successful either. There are plenty of courses to get you started in STEM. But we don't have enough STEM graduates to meet demand. Numbers show the demand for STEM careers has grown 79% since 1990, but enrolments in STEM degrees are at an all-time low compared to the last 20 years. And despite the job opportunities, just 16% of STEM professionals are women. STEM careers can start small, then change the world. Engaging in your high school STEM classes or learning to code could be your first step to delivering driverless vehicles to the roads. Starting a research project at home or entering a science competition could see you defeating cancer with a cure. And that's just the beginning. We don't yet know what kind of jobs will exist 10, 20, 30 years from now. But with STEM, you're prepared for anything. How will you shape the future with your STEM skills?
Branches of STEM. What caused the rise of STEM education?
So now I'm here with Miss Lasharna Tuttle, who will be telling us about what caused the rise of STEM education.
Okay, thank you for that. So the rise of STEM education, we see that there's a demand for an increase in education. It's as a result of an increased demand for STEM skills. With the growing increase in the fields of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, we see where STEM education is very important as it equips students with the necessary skills such as communication, collaboration, critical thinking, and problem solving to better able to go into the workforces of the future. Another reason for a rise in STEM education is as a result of the advanced technology. And we see that in the 21st century, technology is so advanced, and as a result of this, STEM education is important to be incorporated in our schools. According to the National Science, there is 80% of future jobs will be based in the fields of science and mathematics. Another article also states that STEM education or occupations will be growing at 24%, while other occupations will be growing at 4%. And as a result of that, we see why STEM education is important for us to incorporate in our schools, because the 21st century in which we live in, there's a demand, there's an increase for persons, individuals to be skilled in these areas.
Yes, so I guess then the rise of STEM education began because of the need for the skills in science and technology and mathematics. And as she stated, the National Science Foundation states that 80% of future jobs will be requiring the skills of STEM, particularly science and mathematics. So I guess this is why STEM on a whole is so trendy now, and governments are investing in STEM because there is a need for the STEM skills, and majority of the jobs that are to come will be requiring persons to have to have the STEM skills or to be educated in the STEM fields. So welcome Ms. Tamoya Palmer. Now she will be enlightening us about contributors to the fields of STEM education and why it is important to train persons in STEM education fields. Thank you, Ms. Gill. So there are various contributors in the field of STEM education. We have Isaac Newton, who contributes to the field of science, technology, and maths. We have Alexander Bell, who contributes to the field of technology. So now we have Alex, who invented the first telephone, which led to various new inventions. We have now phones with buttons, we have touch screens, and Isaac Newton.
Through his theory about force and gravity, Newton theorized that the same force that caused an apple to fall from a tree was also the force that kept the moon in place. To prove his theory, Newton formulated mathematical problems and used calculation to test and prove his hypothesis about the idea he had. His discoveries through mathematics has caused the development of other concepts in the subject area to investigate aspects relating to gravity, force, and areas that are contributors, for example, distance, time, graphs.
Having trained personnel in STEM fields is crucial for driving innovation, fostering economic growth, maintaining global competitiveness, addressing grand challenges, developing critical skills, and promoting diversity and inclusion in society. Investing in STEM education and training is therefore essential for building a brighter and more sustainable future.
Welcome, who will be informing us of why and how STEM education is crucial to various industries in our country.
STEM education is crucial in the technology sector, fostering skills for designing, developing, and maintaining technological advancements. Sectors like healthcare, engineering, manufacturing, finance, and data science value STEM education for its quantitative and analytical skills. STEM education is a cornerstone for innovation, economic growth, and competitiveness across various industries.
Hi, so now I'm here with Miss Gordon, a third year industrial technology student at the Michael University College. So Miss Gordon, As an industrial technology major, how do you think the development in STEM education impacts industrial technology and the future of industrial technology?
All right, thank you very much for that question. So, industrial technology serves as a catalyst and a beneficiary of STEM. So, industrialists are known for being reflective within their practice, and so therefore they seek to optimize the processes and the operations alongside ensuring efficiency and productivity. And so, therefore, they will collaborate with different STEM fields, different experts within those fields to actually create innovation. So, when we think about artificial intelligence, augmented reality, robotics and animation, energy production, fields or innovations such as those we are working with. And then it benefits us in turn as we're able to maximize on what we want to in our industries such as manufacturing, electrical, industrial safety, all these works, and so we're able to work accordingly. And so that is just a really a brief introduction into the future. And so it involves the really preparing us or maximizing on these innovations to really ensure whatever we are aiming for continues. So for example, augmented reality. So within the field of augmented reality, now by the use of the innovations, we are able to ensure that we can do real-time maintenance and timing. We can facilitate training and prototyping. Also, we have in fields such as green technology. The aim for us as a nation, as the world, is to go towards sustainable development, and so this will assist in such. And
Wow, that really was comprehensive. I want to really thank you, Ms. Garden, for taking the time out to allow yourself to be interviewed and that STEM is really impacting the field of industrial technology. Thank you. Here with Mr. Edwards, and he will be enlightening us on what he knows about STEM education.
Science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. It's really the opposite of liberal arts. When we say talks about it, it's important to portray engineering. I don't really know STEM, I'm not a STEM person, but I know what it is. I know the importance of it and the different viewpoints with the practice.
Okay, thank you. Tune in again to What's the Deal of Vodcast. I'm your host, Vanessa Hill.
She just said Alexander Bell. So we see that our STEM is very important, you know. What I want to know, moving on to some of the contributors of STEM education. Now, in Jamaica, did you know that the Minister of Finance and Public Service, Dr. Nigel Clark, has been spearheading, leading efforts to boost STEM education in Jamaica. Now, he announced a scholarship program valued at $2.5 billion to support 1,250 new student teachers at the Michael University College.
Wow.
Aiming to ensure a STEM competent workforce and produce more STEM proficient workers in Jamaica.
Wow. So we see how STEM is very crucial, very important.
Number one by STEM. Question for you, Vanessa. Would you then say that engineering is a form of science within itself? Would you say that?
Yes, I would say that engineering is a form of science, but I really think that I wouldn't categorize it directly as a form of science, whereas it involves many things. So it involves mathematics, science, and technology. So it by itself is a branch which I would say that scientific things, it falls under engineering. So look at science.
Would you say it's a subsection of science then?
No.
Why I'm saying that is because if we think about it, the definition that I just gave of science, basically where I was saying that, we experiment, we analyze, we create hypotheses. So we say, okay, what if this could work? Let's see if this can work. How did this work when we tried it like that? That's basically science,
Yes, that's science, but engineering is so much more than that. Yes, engineering incorporates that, but engineering also incorporates the use of different mathematical concepts and different technologies to do things. So I would think science more falls under engineering in the sense that with science you think about concepts. So in science you have biological engineering, you have chemical engineering and all those things. If you notice that these different branches of science, you have engineering to them because that is just how broad engineering is in comparison to science. When you really think about it, it's really
their own special
Alright, yeah. So technically it's still a discipline on its own.
Yes.
It's just that they're so closely knitted together that sometimes you don't even see it.
Exactly, because even the scientist Isaac Newton, he's an engineer, he's a scientist, he's a mathematician. He specialized when it comes on to science, mathematics, and engineering. He makes his discovery on force and gravity based on these things. So he didn't just work with engineering, he had to dabble in science and mathematics to prove his hypothesis about force and gravity and about the moon and all these things. So if you really look at it, the STEM that we're looking at today and education of STEM, it's really based on what our founders or the founders of STEM, which really back in those times you didn't put much emphasis on, but when you study these various areas, you're studying the work of these pioneers and you're seeing how they interrelate STEM areas and how they made new discoveries and put things on the table for us to be now studying. So now we will dive into the phenomenal area of mathematics.
Yes, and you can see that mathematics is very crucial and is in all the disciplines, right? Mathematics help us to analyze data, right? It helps us to solve problems and also make predictions. It helps us to calculate the area for the mini greenhouse that Tashia is emphasizing on. And it also, you hear Miss Vanessa speaks about it rapidly in engineering. So we therefore see that mathematics is the foundation that supports all the other STEM disciplines.
And you know what? I agree with you.
Yes.
And the reason why I agree with you is because when
STEM education stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. These areas are crucial to our everyday life because, as you can see, STEM is all around us. We have science as it regards to trees, the water. We have technology and engineering as it regards to the building of infrastructure, such as static, lights, and various buildings in our environment. And mathematics, which is used in calculating various things to build things, such as the statue, the buildings, and the different things in our everyday life that makes our life smooth and easier.
I call myself an accidental engineer. If you had asked me when I was in middle school or high school or maybe even the early years of college if I would grow up to be an engineer, I would have looked at you like you had 3 heads. I didn't know any engineers growing up. I didn't know what engineering was, and at that time, STEM was not even an acronym. I can remember starting at Lockheed Martin around all these amazingly smart engineers and having so many of them say to me, I always knew I was going to be an engineer. I knew I was going to be an engineer from the time I was this tall because they had someone in their life who was an engineer, maybe their father, maybe an uncle or a neighbor. That wasn't my story. My parents were very well educated, and I knew a lot of professional people, but none of them were engineers. In fact, when I told my daddy that after college I was going to pursue a career in engineer, he asked me if I was going to work on a train. And I was like, no, Dad. I was really good at math and science growing up. Math was my favorite subject, and I knew that I wanted to do something with it for my career. So I knew some accountants, and I knew that accounting was a good career, and that you had to be good at math to be an accountant. So I said, I'm going to be an accountant. I enrolled at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. As an economics major, I was going to get a certificate in engineering and later go on to be a certified public accountant. And then in my sophomore year of college, I took an elective, as all college students have to. And I took an elective in COBOL programming. And COBOL, I know it was a long time ago. And, and by the way, I was the last of the group that used those punch cards. So, I really understand. Oh, some of you were there too. I appreciate rubber bands, I absolutely fell in love with it. It transformed me. I was almost like Peter Parker getting bitten by that radioactive spider, except it was a computer science bug for me, and it grabbed a hold, and I'm telling you, to this day, it hasn't let go. It changed the course of my life. Now, I don't know how much you know about my alma mater, but we are the UMBC Retrievers. And our mascot's name is True Grit, and that is no accident. If you had been in some of my classes, my math or science or even my accounting classes, you would know you needed True Grit to get through those courses. My professors were challenging, yet they prepared me to be the very best software engineer that I could possibly be. And when I started working at Lockheed Martin 30 years ago as a software engineer, it opened my mind to working on systems that save people's lives, that protect our nation and our world. But I will tell you that when I was in middle school, when I was in high school, when I was in college, I had no idea how rewarding, how much fun, what a difference you could make if you chose a career in STEM. So I am extraordinarily passionate about helping as many of our young people as possible to gain an interest, to maintain an interest, and ultimately to pursue a career in engineering, because we can't afford any more accidental engineers. We have a frightening shortage of young people who are interested in science, technology, engineering, and math in this country. And one of the reasons I think that they're not interested, that they're not clamoring to go into this amazing field, is because they also don't know how rewarding, how much fun, and what a difference you can make in this amazing career. So I think we all have to shout it from the rooftops. STEM is an awesome career. We've got to tell everybody that we can. We've got to tell our stories. We've got to make STEM come alive for our young people. And if you don't have a story, you can tell mine. Minorities, and in particular, underrepresented minorities, are the fastest growing part of the population in this country today. Yet, we are the least likely to obtain a degree in engineering. And this has to change. In order for it to change, it will take all of us using our collective superpowers to be the difference. So I'm going to start us off right now, and I'm going to shout from every rooftop that I can that if I had not taken that course in COBOL programming, if I had not been blessed enough to get a job as a software engineer at Lockheed Martin, I would never have had the privilege of shepherding the creation of scientific marvels, of impossible innovations, technologies that are used in land, air, sea, and space.
We have come to the end of our show. We will now go to our Did You Know segment. Did you know that the first STEM school in Jamaica is located in ASD.An? Did you know that there is a section on the popular app TikTok that carries content related to STEM education?
I do STEM education. Of course, I'm going to change the world through inventions. I do STEM education. Of course, technology is important.
I do STEM education. Of course, I'm going to improve that.